All right, so I want to talk about reincarnation contact canceled video. I was going to absolutely do it a different way than what I'm doing now. And I decided, no, what I need to do is be in the right now with what I want to do. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had a dilemma going on with me where I've noticed that everyone who are light workers or light warriors are pretty much saying the same thing about reincarnation, about the tunnel of light. And I found myself feeling like something ain't right. I couldn't sit with it. So what I've decided to do is talk about why negative and positive, black and white, the duality concept is useful, but yet it's useless. How we have to, no, I have to continue being on the land of the living in my avatar until that time runs out, but still being who I've always been. And who I've always been is who I be. We're told that, we're here to have an experience, we're here to be tested, we're here to have a purpose. And I was okay with that initially until I started being who I be. One day I got up and I said, higher self, one day I'm going to open my eyes and I'm going to see you right here with me. And one day, maybe a week later, I opened my eyes and I was seeing through my higher self eyes. And which eyes was that, you asked me? That was the eyes I've always seen through this whole time. People extend us with a string into another realm. I have this feeling deep within that I'm not disconnected from the eternal, infinite, all creating void. I am that I am. I am that void. So I'll never be disconnected, even if I sit inside of a matrix with angles and lines trying to entrap me into this frame of mind. I know that the WWW matrix is there. However, it cannot ever stop me. It's like a kid sitting on a swing set on a frosty day saying, I don't want to make a decision. Go to the left, go to the right, up or down, as above, so below, as beneath, so within. No, no, I don't want to do all that. Peace is where I'm at. Being is where I'm at. People say be in the moment. Well, let's talk about being in the moment. Let's think about you want peace. Well, you can go to an island and have a vacation, or you can make a vacation right in your mind by being that vacation. So if you're being that vacation, everything that you lay your hands to do in this avatar body will be what's in you manifesting out of you. You'll start projecting without any struggle, no method, no 12 step this, 10 steps this, 28 steps this. No, you'll just be the vacation. And then as you be the vacation and always the right now moment, that's very important, or the moment, because right now means feels like there's a time limit, but the moment, then you're able to see the vacation be right there with you. Now, there are times where we, as we go into recognizing we need to be, we stumble along the way and we go on vacation. And physical vacation costs money, it costs scheduling. Sometimes it's a headache just trying to get on vacation. Sometimes it's a headache trying to arrange a take off day with your coworkers. Sometimes you're just stressed from that. And sometimes you're stressed from going on vacation because everybody's hassling you to purchase things from them, or somebody did something on the ship that they shouldn't have did on the ship. However, if you be, you don't have to be negative or positive. If you be, you don't have to be as above, so beneath. If you be, you'll find that being isn't about a state of terror. Being isn't about a state of the world ending. Being isn't about whether you're going to have food, shelter, and clothing. Being isn't about whether or not the Anunnaki going to burn the earth again with nuclear weapons. See, being in that frame of mind makes you like an animal, a beast, laying around all day, wishing you didn't have a care in the world, but you know you got to feed and clothe yourself. And that's how this system we live in works. However, dog, reverse it as above, so beneath it, it's called God. Dogma. Am backwards, God. So we sit in darkness, the void, when we don't understand how to be. And we don't understand how to be, that's when we find ourselves seemingly sick and can't get well. But sickness comes from inside the mind. Blood pressure problems come from inside the mind. Everything that we ever suffer with comes from inside the mind. Why? Because the barking of the dog, the barking of the cares of this world, the barking of the troubles of this life, which have been staged and set up for you to worry about to keep you either on the right or the left, the red or the blue. But what we have to do, and what I find myself doing is, I find myself being okay with being on the treadmill, seeming like getting nowhere, but realize I don't have to get anywhere. It's all in the mind. There's a thing called the metaverse, and a lot of people are happy there. However, it burns a lot of their time from being steadfast in the mind. The Ark of the Covenant, the archangels, the pyramid, the capstone, your mind, your pineal gland, the third eye, your intuition, the you that you know that's you, the only you there'll ever be. There aren't no two yous. You're all things all the time. Be you. There is a frequency and a flux in the void. In the void, negative and positive don't have to exist. That's just the potential of all things. We are the potential of all things if we be what we be and get about being what we be. Some people will see this and they'll say, you know what, those people are going through, they should be sad. Their lifestyle isn't grander. And some people look and say, oh, they got it good. What river, what flow, what current are you in? That's what we have to think about. What current are we in? Once you be that vacation spot at peace, not so much that it's that que sera, whatever will be. It's just the fact that you know that it's time to deal with it. Then you can go to que sera, whatever gonna be, gonna be. Not so much for you, because you understand now that you don't have to work towards being negative or positive. See, because if you think you have to be positive and you think you have to be negative, if you think you have to leave, uh, 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 be something other than what you are, sit there, think about it. What are you? Not the avatar, not the body. What are you? Sit there and think about it. What are you? Well, the main thing for me that pops up is my eyes. You can feel yourself in your eyes. So I see this constructed matrix through my eyes, my eye gate. I. I am that I am. I have three eyes, left, right, and my pineal gland. It makes a crown. It makes a pyramid. It makes angles. So when someone tries to arch themselves over you and be your archangel, you might need to question whether or not you just need to be satisfied with just being your boring self. And stop trying to be what everybody else in the awakened arena says you need to be. When we think about the future and being in the future, we become dissatisfied with being right here, right now. So instead of worrying about being the best you and worrying about being the worst you, won't you just be? And whatever come your way, from outward or from inward, let it work for you being you. There are a lot of whispers out here, and there are a lot of sayings out here. Have anybody ever thought that every being, how can any being help you be you? Hmm? How can any being help you be you when they should be about being them? Huh? How can any another tell you how to be yourself? No one has reached the mark. Why? Because there is no mark. Because if there was a target or a mark or a high calling or a low calling, everyone would still be in the game. Well, doesn't that seem like what it looks like? Whether you're on level 12 or 11 or 10 or 9 or 8, or whether you're in the depths of the earth and the low frequency level, aren't they also in the game? The ones that come to help you, aren't they in the game? I would advise all those beings get about being. Don't get about saving and rescuing people, conniving and stealing from people. Start being. And I'm talking about from the ones that call themselves archangels, grays, Anunnakis, uh, reptilians, uh, Dagon, all of you, all of you. Be about being. Because if you're not just about being, you're absolutely in the game. You're absolutely in the game. And I think that's what they don't want people to recognize that they're in the game too. I have an image in front of me of matrix style kind of people in the background, my screensaver, and that reminds me everybody's in the game. What level am I on? Every level, baby. Every level. The good, the bad, and the ugly. every level. Because if you weren't on every level, there's no way you could tap into every level. May we stop running after words of knowledge, words of wisdom, words of consultation, and may we just get about being just fine with being unimportant you. Be okay that you only have a couple bucks in the bank account. Be okay with it. And then once you're okay with it, be about being abundant without struggling and straining behind it. If you want to torment yourself, hell is where you'll be. If you want to appease your conscience and say you was a good person and you showed love and you loved the one you're supposed to love because he first loved you, then that's where you'll be. But all of us inside the game. This video is going to be about declaring and decreeing that what they're going to do in Antarctica and on the moon on this February 23rd, 2024. It was going to be about, hey, we're going to do uh, a reincarnation contract cancellation. But then I realized, can nobody, we all beings, we all come from the infinite void. Can nobody that come from the infinite void of all uh, intentions and all adventures judge me? And I realized you're fretting and worrying for nothing. No one by any means can say you're wrong or you're right. Not even the void, because the void is me. Once we get about just being, we'll stop allowing other beings to oppress you just being and telling you that you're not finished with your purpose and your ancestry karma. When we know everything works together for your good, or everything works together for you to be who you be, whether good or bad. We have to not escape anything. We have to be. Be not under someone's dogma. Be not a slave. Be free. Be okay with others being free. Be okay with others being enslaved. Say, okay, that's what he or she wants to be in this time frame. If we want to call it that, so be it. Anytime someone wants to not be, they won't be. We have to get about being the I am that I am and stop trying to find an I am that I am outside of your crown, your mind, your third eye, the eternal, forever balanced you, forever acceptance of good and bad, because it's really just really, yes, it's an experience. And because it's an experience, can't anyone look at you and say, well, you had too many bad experiences, you need to go down there and have some good experiences? That's when you know they're being biased. Okay? And by no means do you have to be subjugated to bias. Whether it's an archangel, a demon, an angel, a god, a demigod, a capital G God, a lowercase g God, a guru, a pastor, bishop, a pope. a saint, an angle, an archangel, an archangel over your mind. Mm. The ark of the covenant, our brains, our minds, the wings over our minds, the cerebrium, either side over our pineal gland. We are under, I can speak for myself for sure, sure. I'm under no covenant with anybody to keep any promise, whether I made the promise or not. No one can impose upon you to keep a covenant, a contract, because no one's any more or less than you. For once you stand in just being, not positive or negative, not hot or cold, not black or white, not red or blue, not as above, so below, as beneath, so within, any of these dualities. Once you stand on that horizontal and vertical line, but more so vertical, you can look at all beings, whether they're 20 feet or 8 feet, and say, hey, I know you just like me. Doesn't matter if we were genomed, Homo erectus genomed, and made into a more aware avatar for this body, for slavery. It doesn't matter. We're still from the void. We're still from eternal potential. Let not this experience of being labeled the only experience. May we, I know for myself, accept that you are and I am the master of my own creation. You know, that you're the master of your own vacation. You're also the master of your own hurricane or devastation. Whose report will you believe? Are you going to believe the report of the Anunnaki? Are you going to believe the report of the ancestors? Are you going to believe the report of the archangels? Are you going to believe the report of the prophets? Whose report are you going to believe? Because believing means you just got to take the word they say. Doesn't mean proof is there. And you've got proof from others who are beings, then maybe they just reporting from another being. And they're just being a follower because it's easy being a follower than being I am. And like I said earlier, I was going to declare vows null and void of this incarnation from Antarctica to the moon god, Jah Yah, that a lot of people do worship, the Hebrews and the Jews and a few other folks. However, no, by the time I got to this day, about a week and a half ago, I was thinking about doing this. I was in a different frame of mind. This reincarnation cancellation thing got me back to thinking about when I first realized what the tunnel of light was all about. I realized that all of this is a game, every level. And I'm going to say this with all kindness. If that hurts your feelings, that is all a game. Leveling up, going to the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the seventh dimension. Well, I'm gonna say, I feel sorry, only because I'm being human to say I'm sorry. And if it pisses you off that I say that you need to go on vacation and be still, not work on being still, not meditate on being still, just be still. You don't have to think about anything. And if you want to think about something, think about something. But for me, to be still, I don't have to go into a solemn state of mind. I've never have. It's always right here in front of me. I feel it every time. Me, right here in my chest, in my eyes. I feel it. I'm not disconnected with like a string or a joystick. I'm outside of this realm, and part of me's here. 1% of me's here, and the other part of me's outside this realm. No, all old girl here. I'll never ever be separated from myself. How is that even possible? We're not even separated from the void. How could we ever be separated from the void? How foolish have I been to be so blind to think that I could ever be separated? You ready for it? That I could ever be separated from love? That I could ever be separated from hate? That's why I got to be. I got to be content with it all. Have the experience. See it as an experience. Lean to nobody else's understanding. Lean to no archangel's understanding. Archon, anybody. Palladians, anybody. The dragons, Dagon, Anunnakis, anybody. The Greys, anybody. Prophets of old. I was going to declare these vows, like I said, null and void in this incarnation. And, I was going to talk about the time and space parallel realities, parallel universes, alternate realities, and alternate universes. And I kept thinking, you know what? This statement that people are speaking for this February 23rd, 2024 moon slash Antarctica. I'm going to add in there Saturn because that makes the three, the Godhead. Okay? That traps you into the Bermuda Triangle kind of thing. Well, it only entraps those who aren't being I am. I am. On purpose. Go on vacation from groupthink. Be okay with not having groupthink. But understand what groupthink is for. Reference. Reference. Because none of us are separated in the middle, in neutrality. However, that's if you're being, you're not separated. But if you're not being, you are righteous or unrighteous, good or evil, as above, so beneath, angel, demon, stuff like that. Male, female, which I understand the avatar for that because I know we are pure energy. I get that. But anyway. All right, well, like, subscribe, hit that bell. Thanks for watching.